Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise today as a proud co-sponsor of H.R. 1361, the Recover Act. I want to thank Chairwoman Velasquez for her leadership in crafting this important piece of legislation and bringing it to the floor. The storms that hit the Gulf Coast nearly 2 years ago exposed major flaws in the disaster planning system across all agencies of the federal government. Perhaps most appalling is that these storms exposed the fact that so many agencies had no plan at all for disasters such as Hurricanes Katrina and Rita. The Small Business Administration was just one of many agencies caught behind the curve, and the Recover Act aims to ensure that this never happens again by providing common-sense remedies for the many problems brought to light by the storms. We are all quite familiar with the problems of the SBA in the aftermath of Hurricanes Katrina and Rita. 6 weeks after the storms, there had been about 54,000 disaster loan applications received from the region. 95% of these applications were denied, while only 1,050 of these were approved and only 58 checks totaling $533,000 or so were sent out. During the 6-week period that followed Hurricane Charlie in 2004, the SBA disbursed 4 times that amount that was disbursed after Katrina and Rita. Additionally, many people in the Gulf Coast region fell victim to long delays in the process of their applications, and their paperwork was lost because the SBA lacked a fully functional disaster processing system as well as the required staff. The SBA lacked adequate service and support for its information and telecommunications systems. Only one vendor in the region of the SBA's primary telecommunications hub could service the type of phone system that the agency uses. The SBA also failed to completely stress test the agency's sole loan processing system prior to its implementation. The Recover Act mandates that the SBA develop a comprehensive written plan in order to deal with catastrophic disasters of this magnitude, as well as test the capacity of the system at least once each year. Administrator Steve Preston came before the Small Business Committee and made the claim that the problems involved in the loan processing system had been solved through a team case management solution. Yet in talking with various small business owners and homeowners as well, and in closely examining the loan processing numbers, doubt is cast on this assertion. One such example is Donna Colosino of New Orleans, who came before the committee and demonstrated that serious flaws exist that this bill aims to remedy. After the storms flooded her electrical equipment business under 12 feet of water, she applied for a disaster loan from the SBA and was approved for $250,000. After 15 months of resubmitting paperwork lost by the SBA, she finally received a disbursement of $10,000 in May of this year. Under the current repayment structure, she will have to begin paying back her loan as if she had received the full $250,000, though she only received $10,000 to date. This is just one more nonsensical policy of the SBA disaster loan program that Recover will change by altering the payment schedule so repayment only begins on the money received. Perhaps the most troubling aspect of the current program to me, as well as to many of my constituents back home, is the requirement that money received from the Road Home program must be used to repay any outstanding loans from the SBA. Assume your home has a pre-Katrina value of $150,000 and it was completely destroyed by the storm. You qualify for a SBA loan in the amount of $100,000. Your Road Home grant comes through in the amount of $50,000, enough perhaps to cover your pre-Katrina value. But you must then take the $50,000 Road Home grant and use it not to complete your home, but to pay down the SBA loan by $50,000. The result is you end up with only $100,000 in your hands to rebuild, $50,000 short of what you need. The truth is, replacement cost of a home now is much, much more, given the spikes in the cost of rebuilding and building materials and insurance far exceeding their pre-Katrina value. The requirement to pay down the SBA disaster loan to the extent of the Road Home grant will leave the homeowner with less than is needed to replace the lost home, no matter the Road Home grant award. This SBA requirement has also kept many people from closing on their Road Home awards as they wait for this body to resolve this situation. The Recover Act would address this serious problem by allowing the SBA administrator to provide grants to replace compensation that has already been taken by the SBA as a duplication of benefits, as well as going forward to assist those who have yet to receive their Road Home awards to fully recover. The requirement in the bill to repose discretion in the SBA administrator not to treat a Road Home grant as an automatic double dip is safeguard enough to prevent true double dipping from occurring. And the grants that are authorized in the bill to selected businesses that have been in business for 2 years, who are in fact true pioneers in going back because there's no guarantee that they'll have customers there to meet that demand, is a reasonable addressing of the problem there. The flaws of the SBA disaster loan program have been exposed by the 2005 storms, and it now falls to this body to remedy these flaws. We have long since moved past the rescue phase. We are now focused on recovery, yet we cannot recover under the existing structure. 77,000 small businesses were damaged.
Expired.
I do for 30 seconds.
Yes, granted. I yield 30 seconds to the gentleman.
Additional 30 seconds.
I thank the gentleman for yielding. 77,000 businesses were damaged, along with 275,000 homes. Operating under the idea of business as usual, Mr. Speaker, is not enough. It is only through the passage of this bill and careful oversight in the coming months that we can ensure the SBA fulfills its obligations not only to the victims of the storms of 2005, but also to deal more responsibly and efficiently with future disasters. I urge my colleagues to oppose any amendments that would weaken this bill and to vote in favor of this final passage.